Peter, as a metaphysician, as a believer in God, when you do metaphysics, how do you feel in respect of the fact that you are looking at the most fundamental structure of the world that you believe God created?
I have to say that the relation between my belief in God and my work in pure metaphysics is very hard to discern. I don't think that, for example, a philosopher who knew nothing about my religious beliefs, who looked only at my papers on metaphysics, would be able to discern that I was a religious believer, unless it happened to be the incidental remark or example used here and there, things that could be deleted from those works without changing anything essential about them. Probably there are a couple of remarks here and there that have that feature. Because, and the same thing, of course, is true of scientists, isn't it? If you have a scientist who is a religious believer and a scientist who is an atheist, still they're purely scientific. You wouldn't be able to tell from looking at their purely scientific papers. When I talk about God in my work, in my philosophical work, it's usually as a piece of Christian apologetic. And that usually means somebody has attacked some aspect, some of the Christian faith, and I'm simply responding, using the intellectual skills that I have as a philosopher, to be sure, and mostly the attackers are philosophers themselves. In any case, those are the ones that I run across the most. But this is kind of like applied philosophy for me, as opposed to the stuff where my mind, where I'm really using my mind, where my mind is fully awake. I mean, I feel that I'm doing the apologetic in the service of God. It's a job, you know, like passing out food at a food bank, but it's not, you know, where I'm really using the full resources of my mind.
But as a metaphysician, you are investigating the most general features of this world, and it could have been in lots of different ways. So as you have done this, as you have gotten a greater understanding of the most general features of the world, and then sense and believe that that was created by God, what is this world? What is this world that God would have created?
The world that I investigated, of course, is sort of the world as it would have to be no matter what, at least as far as I can see. Maybe it wouldn't have to have conscious beings in it, and they're a part of the world, but aside and along with their free will and everything else, yeah, those are a great source of mystery. But what strikes me is that the world is very mysterious. There's an awful lot that I don't understand about it at all. And there's at least two ways of not understanding the world. There's the scientific way of not understanding what dark energy or dark matter is, or something like that, real puzzles like that. But then there are these puzzles that seem to lie right at the root of being. Some of them are due to human beings, these, as I believe, images of God in the world. And we could talk about free will. We could talk about the hard problem of consciousness. All these are just mysteries as far as I'm
How about the non-human mysteries?
But some of them are important and some of them are less noticed. Everybody notes, I think, the mystery of the passage of time. Now, you might think that it has something to do with human consciousness, but and maybe it does have something to do with human consciousness, but if you think that time would be passing if there were no human beings, then it doesn't entirely have to do with human consciousness. To me, the idea that time is passing is self-contradictory, and yet it has to be pointing at something true, something that we don't know how to say. I think that the views of those people who try to leave temporal passage out of the world entirely and say it's an illusion all the way through are wrong. There's something, but it's a mystery to me. You know, in those great words of Augustine, if you don't ask me, I know what it is. If you ask me, I find myself unable to put it into words. That's one of the big mysteries. And there are other mysteries too, little mysteries that are just as mysterious as time, though they may not strike us as important. One of them is vagueness. Another is self-reference, as when, for example, through some operatic misapprehension, the president-elect believes herself to have been defeated in the election and says everything the president-elect says to you tonight is false. If what she says is true, it's false. If what she says is false, it's true. So it's both true and false. Can't be both true and false. Must be that she didn't say it, but obviously she did say it. Nobody understands this at all. There are similar mysteries with vagueness.
When you have a world that has those kinds of things in it, are those things necessary, whether God created the world or didn't create the world?
Oh, I think that one, yeah.
Yeah. So these mysteries, these general feature mysteries, would exist almost no matter what, no matter what.
I don't think God could create a world that wasn't to creatures with my mental capacities mysterious. And in those ways, now I suppose nothing is mysterious in itself. That doesn't mean anything at all. Everything must be intelligible. But that doesn't follow that everything must be intelligible to creatures with our particular set of mental capacities.